Hi everybody and welcome to a Danapedia COVID-19 coronavirus special. It's me on my own today. You're joining me, well, not live because this is pre-recorded, but from my kitchen, and I'm going to show you a recipe which I love. It's very easy. Even I can bake this bread. Now, it's an Australian recipe. It's very straightforward. It's got literally these 5 ingredients. You've got plain flour, baking powder, salt, oat milk and dairy-free butter, because my little ones can't have dairy, but you can use normal milk and normal butter. So basically we're going to do dry ingredients in a mixer and then add the wet ingredients afterwards. So first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put the oven on. I'm going to put it on 230 degrees Celsius. I'm not even going to try and convert that into Fahrenheit, but that's the first step. Cool, so the first thing we're actually going to add is 500 grams of plain flour. So that literally goes straight into the mixer. Get it right in there. Then we're going to add 2.5 teaspoons of salt. And we're going to add 6 teaspoons of baking powder. That will go straight in there. No messing around, and we literally just put the mixer straight on. Obviously I've got this fancy pants mixer which belongs to my wife, but you can just do it by hand if you haven't got something like this. Cool, so we're literally just going to give this 1 minute mixing. Right, next thing I'm going to throw in is 60 grams of butter. Now, like I said, I'm using dairy free, but if you're just a normal, unlike me and my kids, then you can just use normal butter as you see fit. I guess just use the same amount. Just give that another quick mix for a second. Cool, so then we're just literally going to chuck the 350 ml of milk in there. I'm using oat milk, but like I said, you can use normal milk or you can use any other alternative. Just use the 350 ml measurement. I'm just going to give that one more mix. This is not take long. It's not going to take long at all. So the dough's real sticky. It's really sticky at this point, so what I like to do is just dribble a little bit of olive oil down the side of the mixing bowl and give it another quick whiz just to hold it together. Cool, so next thing is I get a square of baking paper. Now this is only about 30 centimetres square, something like that, not very big at all. Just literally, I like to whack a bit of flour on here. This makes everything a little bit easier to clean up afterwards, and this is what's going to go in the oven anyway. I like to get some flour on my hands as well, just because this dough is real sticky like, and it's easier to get it out of the bowl if you've got flour in your hands. I said it was easier, it's actually just as difficult because it's real sticky stuff. Now the cool thing is you can add stuff into this, so if you wanted to add like olives or bacon, add cheese, whatever you want into this, and you're sort of in a good spot, you know. Like I said, it's pretty it's quite forgiving stuff. Now once it's got a bit of flour in it, it's a bit more manageable. But until that point, it's a bit sticky. Now, we're just going to literally give it a pat round, so it's in a circle. Give it a squidge in the middle, just to flatten it a little bit. But that's basically it. That's it done. That's the bread. next step is obviously cooking. I'm still waiting for the oven to preheat, so I've literally done this in the time that it takes for the oven to heat up, which is not taking very long at all, literally 10-15 minutes. So, next thing is cooking it and getting it like in the oven. But usually you see people, they put like water in and they leave it to prove and all that stuff, but there's no proving. We're not proving anything. We are going to use a small casserole dish and we're going to make a Dutch oven. Not that kind of Dutch oven, this kind of Dutch oven. So it is literally as simple as lid off, bread in, the paper makes a bit of noise. Lid back on, and in the oven at 230 degrees for 45 minutes. Okay, so my oven is preheated. Like I said, straight in the casserole dish. Make sure that if you've got a plastic handle on the top of it that it's oven safe, because otherwise that's going to melt and it's going to make the bread taste bad. But otherwise we put this in, first sting, 45 minutes. Like I said, the dough's very moist, so that should create some steam inside the actual casserole dish and help it cook. It will rise on its own because of the baking powder and the salt reacting with the liquid. So yeah, 45 minutes straight in, then we'll take it out and have a look, and if it needs to go back in for a bit longer, or if we want to crunch it up or we want to get a crust on it, then we can put it back in again. Okay, so 45 minutes is up. We're now going to get the bread out of the oven and have a check on it. Cool, so as you can see it's risen up, it's got like a lot of cracking and stuff around it. It's really squidgy for the time being, but the other cool thing is you can just literally grab hold of the parchment, lift the whole thing out, and there's literally no washing up. So just pull that parchment all off of there. It shouldn't be stuck because of the flour, but it gives you like a nice bloomer. Now I'm going to use one of these tea towels because it's still really hot, just to check the bottom. That's good and hollow. Now at this point you can pop it back into the casserole dish without the lid on and pop it back in for another 10 minutes just to toast all the top up. So I'm going to sprinkle some flour on and then we're going to do that. Okay, so it's been 14 minutes. Let's see how she looks. So, it looks pretty good. It's nice and crunchy on top. Now it's like really springy because it's a bit like similar to a scone or scone depending on where you're from. So now we're gonna try and get this out of here without burning ourselves, but skillfully done, Dan. Pop that onto a rack just to cool down, and that is it. That's the bread made. Just obviously let it cool down before you cut into it. Now, like I said, this is not your normal Danapedia episode, and if you have continued watching to here, you are a true Danapedia fan. Well done. Now, what I really like about this is how simple it is. 5 ingredients, that you can probably still get during this Corona apocalypse. You don't need self-raising. You can use self-raising flour instead of putting baking powder in. I only did this because all I've got is plain flour. But you can do it with normal. You can do it with bread flour. You can do it with whatever. And cooking it in here makes it come out really, really moist, really soft. Like it's a really good bread. And I am a terrible baker, as my wife constantly reminds me. But even I can make this. So if I can do it, any of you guys can do it. And literally less like an hour and a half. It will be cooked from start to finish. An hour and a half. We've got a full loaf of bread. The kids actually enjoy this bread, which is surprising to me. It's great with cheese. It's great with chutneys and jams and stuff like that as well. It doesn't toast so well, but like I said, you can't moan. Like it's so good. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Thanks for coming back, or thanks for coming for the first time if you're new to the channel. Usually we do tech, media, news, all that sort of stuff, but this week I thought I'd take a moment out. Dan can't be with us because he is an NHS staff member, so he's obviously doing much more important work than you two. So Dan, thanks very much for all your help, and thanks very much to all the NHS staff out there. What? Oh, sorry about that. I actually got interrupted by the 8 o'clock clap, and I just had a look outside the front door, and the whole street is out their front doors clapping on the sidewalk to say thank you to all the NHS staff for all of your hard work and putting your lives literally at risk to help the rest of us during this pandemic. So thanks very much, everyone. Please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, please comment on the video and let me know what you think. Dislike the video as well if you don't like it, let me know how to improve. If you want the recipe, I'll put it in the description. And if you don't like it, you try it, you don't like it, then, you know, what have you lost? You've lost 50p's worth of flour. So thanks very much, guys. See you soon.